On Monday, April 27th of 2020, the Florida Department of Agriculture, or FDAC, started accepting applications to cultivate hemp. This video is meant to serve as a guide to navigating the steps in order to apply for a license, and how to maintain that license, as well as to give guidance on THC sampling and harvest requirements. Before starting your application process, you can review the regulatory requirements by reading Rule 5B-57.014 of the Florida Administrative Code. To begin the application process, all applicants, including the responsible person and all control persons, must submit a full set of fingerprints to a live scan service provider, which will be evaluated by the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. Applicants will then need to create an account with the Hemp Cultivation Application online portal at the FDAC's Hemp page, www.fdacs.gov/hemp. A valid email address will be required to validate the user profile and create the account. You will automatically receive a message to the same email address you listed, and you will need to follow the steps in that message to verify your email address. Please note that you will not be able to proceed in your application process until you have validated the email address associated with your account. Applicants who are planning to produce hemp nursery plants must also register as a nursery by contacting the Division of Plant Industry in FDACS. Applicants are required to comply with a containment and transportation plan. The containment and transportation plan can also be found on the FDACS Hemp page. The guidelines are outlined on page 1 of this document, and page 2 can be used as a template for the applicant to submit with the online application to cultivate hemp. A containment and transportation plan will be necessary for each separate cultivation location. Ensure that your application is complete and that all information included in it is accurate and correct to avoid delays in processing. Applicants may obtain property classification and property tax parcel number information from their county property appraiser. The applicant will be notified via email from the FDACS Division of Plant Industry, or FDACS DPI, once the application is successfully submitted. Applications will be processed for completeness, background check information, and containment and transportation plan. Applicants will be notified by phone or email of any questions or issues, or by mail for background check questions. The applicant will receive an email from FDACS DPI that will include their license to cultivate hemp in Florida following approval of the application. Signage must be posted at each approved cultivation location that includes the hemp cultivation license number, cultivation site address, and a statement indicating hemp is being cultivated under a license issued by the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. Contact FDACS DPI 60 days before any anticipated changes to existing cultivation locations or addition of new cultivation locations. Applicants must comply with the Containment and Transportation Plan and the Waste Disposal Manual. Licensees must use only certified hemp seed, pilot project hemp seed, or nursery stock grown by a licensed hemp cultivator. Certified hemp seed is defined by FDACS Division of Agricultural Environmental Services, or FDACS AES, as a class of hemp seed, which is the progeny of breeder, foundation, or registered hemp seed certified by a certifying agency. Pilot project hemp seed is hemp seed approved by an institution or university conducting an industrial hemp pilot project pursuant to Section 1004.4473 Florida statutes. Licensees must maintain documentation of a hemp seed and plant varieties used for cultivation for at least 3 years after the date of harvest. Licensees must report hemp crop acreage to the USDA Farm Service Agency. Licensees will receive an annual inspection of each cultivation location to ensure compliance with the Environmental Containment Plan, hemp seed and plant variety documentation, and that each cultivation location is free from plant pests and diseases. The licensee may communicate with a local inspector throughout the year. Inspector contact information is available on the Division of Plant Industry website. Hemp cultivation licenses expire after 12 months from the date of issuance and may be renewed through the same process. No less than 15 days before intended harvest, a representative sample must be taken from each variety of hemp grown to test for the total THC content. Total THC content must not exceed 0.3%. Samples must be conducted in accordance with the pre-harvest sampling menu available at the FDEX Hemp page. Samples must be collected by an approved designated lab, transported and submitted to the lab for analysis within 1 business day of sample collection. The licensee will be notified of approval to harvest by email within 1 business day after the department receives the results of approval to harvest. A list of approved designated labs is available to licensees at the FDEX Hemp page. Regulatory samples collected for approval to harvest must include the anticipated harvest date and crop acreage associated with the variety sampled. The designated lab used by the grower for the required regulatory THC analysis conducted within 15 days of harvest will notify FDEX DPI of the THC analysis results. FDEX DPI will notify the licensee of approval to harvest when sample results are compliant with state and federal regulations, within 1 business day of receiving sample results. If harvest is not approved based on the initial sample results, the licensee may request within 1 day of receiving the results that the designated lab retest the retained portion from the already collected sample. If the second sample analysis also exceeds 0.3% THC, the licensee may request within 1 day of receiving the results for the local DPI inspector to conduct a third sample to confirm total THC. If the third sample still exceeds 0.3% THC, the crop or variety that exceeds 0.3% THC must be destroyed in accordance with the Hemp Waste Disposal Manual available at the FDEX Hemp page. The licensee must notify FDEX DPI within 1 day of completing destruction of the hemp that exceeds 0.3% THC. For information regarding cultivation applications or other information on hemp, visit the FDEX Hemp page. For even more information on hemp in Florida, you can visit the University of Florida Industrial Hemp Program or the National Hemp Association website.